Hi guys, it seems that many of you have been interested in the DELL Latitude 5500 business laptop. It's currently unavailable on Dell website, but it seems that a lot of people have been searching this up. So I thought I'd have a look at the stats and whether I think it's worth the price and check out its performance as well as we go through the specs very quickly. I don't plan to make this video too long, but it depends on how many stats we have. All right, so firstly what we see is that there's varying sizes available, the 13, the 13 2-in-1, the 14, the 15. All right, so that's good. It's good that it has a 2-in-1, but a 13-inch is personally to me a little bit small. If you're going to be traveling, it's going to probably be ideal for you. I do like the 14 inches size. It's quite pleasant to use. And of course, if you're a power user and you're going to be using this a lot on your desktop, the 15-inch will give you a little bit more desktop space to do Photoshop, to do all those different things. But of course, this is a business laptop. And so let's assume that you'll be using this for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and those sort of productivity applications. Will this work? Will this seem fine for you? Well, let's get into the actual specs and we'll go from there as we research this laptop a little bit more. All right, so as you can see, we are currently viewing the 5500 business laptop. There are some variations which I'm not going to touch, but I may touch it in another video, so look out for that as well too. But let's see if this laptop particularly is worth it. So it seems to come with an 8th generation Intel i-Core processor. Let's have a look quickly. This is of course a 4-core processor, but let's have a look and see whether this also has multi-threading capabilities, and I'll explain that as we do our research. All right, so let's have a look at the pass mark. Usually the pass mark tells us some level of the performance we should expect. So I'm going to go through the stats, as I said, as quickly as possible. So thank you for viewing. Make sure to like and subscribe in the meantime. All right, so what we see is a quite high turbo speed. That's good. We see that, yes, it is multi-threaded. So that means that even though you get 4 cores, you can actually run up to 3 things nearly simultaneously. I'm saying 8 things nearly simultaneously. So that is quite good, I would say. Of course, the price that we saw was $1,200 US. Okay, so I would say that you get a 4-core, a quad-core processor for that $1,200. Not bad. There are some, of course, laptops that will be cheaper. We do see a fairly decent CPU mark, and this mark, I would say anything above 5,000 at this point in time is pretty good, and you should not expect too much sticking, etc. You should be able to run, I could just tell you based on the stats, that you should be very comfortable running Office suite of applications, and also maybe Photoshop and Lightroom. This should be totally fine. What we see as well too, as we see that the TDP down is 10 watts, so it means that this laptop can throttle itself down to 10 watts of processing power, which means that it's going to save some of the battery as well, and it can use up to 25 watts, which is nearly standard for most laptop power. All right, so in terms of what we see here, I think we also see that this laptop is the first time the CPU has been available is in 2019. So you're not getting the latest processor, but again, for the price, that's what I need to sort of conclude on as we go through this. All right, so let's see what else we have here. It comes with Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. That's fine. That's great. That's going to be good for networking. And it also comes with the Radeon 540X graphics. So let's have a look at the graphics here and see what we actually, what sort of performance we get on the GPU side of things. And this is probably not the best version, but what I'm trying to figure out here is if it is on board or not. Is it dedicated? And it's probably yeah, it probably is dedicated. Let's try a benchmark on this. Okay, yeah, so we have a video of benchmark, and it seems to be, of course, lowish in rank, 516 rank. and we see like compared to, I mean, it's a lot slower than like a GTX. So GTX 1080, which is kind of what you used to use for gaming, or the 1080 Ti. I don't know if there's a lot of faster ones, but yeah, you're not going to use this for any high quality gaming whatsoever. You're probably going to just be able to do things like maybe Minecraft and maybe running most games at 720p. It may run, but you're not going to expect to get any 4K qualities. But again, this is a business laptop, so who really cares about that? I'm just touching on it. What we also see is it comes with 8 gigs of memory, DDR4 memory, and that is quite fine. You're not going to have an issue in terms of if you're going to use Office Suite, etc. If you're going to use Photoshop, you'll get away with that as well, and Lightroom as well. Totally fine. That will work great. And you also get 256 gigabyte drive. You may be wondering, why is that so small? That's because it's an NVMe drive, which means it's a solid state drive. It's about 10 times faster usually compared to a mechanical drive, which, you know, those mechanical drives are the drives that have spinning platters on them. This is not. This is an actual chip drive that stores everything on a chip. And yep, you're going to expect boot times well within 10 seconds. So that's totally fine. However, if you are going to be doing things like video or imaging, etc., this may not be enough for you. And so it's something to look at. For $1,200, is it worth it? For a business laptop, I would say yes, it's worth it, but barely worth it. I mean, this laptop to me seems to be more worth and should be around the $800 or $900 USD price, in my honest opinion, and that is comparing it with like something with an AMD Ryzen processor, for example. So overall, the other question we probably should have a look at is whether this thing even comes with a backlight. I mean, for $1,200, if you don't get a backlight, then I don't think it's really, at the end of the day, super worth it. I do see that there's USB ports, so I do see 2 USB ports, most likely 3.0. Actually, there's 4 USB ports, 3.1, which is great. It's not 4. I think it's just showing 4 and USB. So it's really, I see 2. I see what seems to be an HDMI. That's good. We see 7 RJ45 jack. That's also good. That means you can wire in directly if you're in an office. It seems to have an SD card or USIM card reader as well. That's optional, right? So you may not get that depending on what you buy, but you do get the SD card, at least a micro SD card reader. And of course the lock as well. On the other side, we get a power port, we get a USB-C port. That's nice as well to include, and it seems to have another USB port here. And I have no idea what 12 is. Let's see what 12 is. 12, an optional contacted smart card reader. Okay, so still that's fine, but again, I don't see it mentioning anything about a backlight. But let's have a look, and it seems that it doesn't, at least from searching, it doesn't have a backlight. So overall, I would say that no, I would not purchase this laptop, especially because a lot of productivity tends to happen in the dark. Overall, you probably get some warranty. Let's have a look at the warranty. Let's factor in actually that warranty, and it doesn't even say that it has any warranty. So we will assume that this has 1 year of warranty. And so in terms of the build, I'm sure that Dell probably builds these laptops a little bit more higher quality, but for the price, you definitely don't need to start off with this laptop. You're probably better off saving some money with another brand laptop where you can probably get double the RAM and even near double the processing power if you go with an AMD Ryzen processor. Also overall, and you'll probably get for a cheaper price as well to the 256 gigabytes. So in my suggestion, I say no. However, it's up to you, of course, to make that decision. So with that being said, I hope that this helps you out, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear from you and also respond and help out as well. So with that being said, thank you so much for viewing, and I'll see you guys again soon on another episode of RTHD coming to YouTube screen near you. Take care. Bye-bye.